Hi, welcome to Matt Holman Golf. I haven't taken a look at Phil Mickelson yet, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to. So he's a little bit quiet at the moment, but I'm sure he's got some, very good golf in him ahead. See, one of the greats of the game. Now, I think interestingly with his technique, this on the right-hand side was from about a week ago at the P.G.A Championship. The left a little bit earlier than that. He's got a 3-wood on the left-hand side with a driver on the right-hand side. So I think where you're seeing a lot of the modern players, or even some of the older players that have been in the game a long time, going to say slightly shorter swings, slightly flatter swings, are sort of little in vogue at the moment. Phil's really kept this long flowing swing. If anything, it's most probably as long as it's ever been. I know Butch for a while there really tried to shorten that swing up, and I've got some great footage I can share at some point where he's in this nice sort of short, wide three-quarter look. But I think the feeling for Phil was there just wasn't enough sort of power there. I think he really likes the long ball, and he's willing to on his bad weeks be a little off, but when he's on, then he really wants to sort of take the course apart and play very aggressively. So we start on the right hand side. He's aiming down that right edge. I've got some footage I'll share with some obviously right-handed golfers, and the wind is clearly from the right to left, and you'll see that in other footage I'll post, because you can see the flags really blowing to the left, and then all their alignments are sort of to the right. So we see that a little bit with Phil. He's aimed a little bit to the right there relative to our target, shoulders slightly more open than his foot line, but set up very neutral on the whole, very athletic. So first move, very much what we're looking for, hands in, sort of club out, up the shaft plane line slightly outside. He sets the club well, retains his body angles. So where most you're going to see sort of stop around there, Phil's going to keep going. So we can actually see the club sort of, underneath his shoulder there. So pretty much John Daly-esque at the moment. So it's a really long, full swing, huge shoulder rotation. So even with this 3-wood here, you can see he's really set up slightly behind the ball to maximise that angle of attack and really trying to hit up on the ball that stands out there. And then he has this sort of wide one-piece move, slight bump into the right side. And even with the 3-wood, you're going to see here really sort of coils and loads and huge hip turn. Front knee really moves in. So even with the 3-wood there, you can see he's clearly past sort of the parallel. You see someone like sort of Jason Zubak there, some of the real long drive guys, Jamie Sidlowski. So he's really trying to max out every sort of bit he's got in his golf swing here. And to be honest, for the average guy, I wouldn't really recommend this. It's incredibly hard to control, swinging this long. But see, I think Phil does a better job than most. Look how he comes down the lag. I mean, his club shaft is nearly sort of touching his shoulder here. All the way down, that gap stays incredibly small. So, most amateur golfers, that angle's sort of gone there. I'm fighting this with all my amateurs. The club's over there somewhere, if not sort of down here somewhere, to be honest. So really retain that lag, and that calls from a strong pull off his front side for the lat, the hip, the knee there. Comes in, so sort of loads of lag through the ball there. The shaft and club head eventually starts to catch up, creates that straight line that sort of impacts, create a nice shallow angle of attack. So we'll see the same look now from down the line. I mean, you can see that club shaft is sort of pretty much on his shoulder there. He's sort of bouncing off it. What he does well, he rotates his body so well that he's able to actually pull that club shaft back on plane and pretty much pointing at the ball, if anything just inside. So most of the better players I teach, if they got that narrow and long going back, they're never going to be able to get the shaft anywhere near looking at the golf ball, as Phil's doing here. We see the club shaft and club head sort of stuck very much underneath here somewhere, and blocks and hooks. He does a fantastic job of rotating his body, and the club is as on plane as it can be. I think in Butch in this scenario, we always talk about the heartbeat, the swing, halfway down to halfway through, and really in that area through impact, he's as good as anyone in the game. You know, again, a very aggressive sort of backhand, left-hand release, which you'll see from this view. So a real strong sort of rollover look all the way through to his finish. Again, a lot of the guys in the modern era, we see less sort of rollover there, but I think Phil's definitely sort of incorporated sort of some of the movements you'd see in some of the older players, some of the long drive guys. And I think, you know, you can really see he's maximising the power in his golf swing and taking on the golf course.